Well, hello, 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 fellow addicts. Welcome back to Addicts Live, your internet escape from the craziness in the world. I'm Alissa, your resident head addict, and I'm joined, as always, by my co host to the freezing cold north, the frozen tundra, if you will, Super Safi.
Happy Saturday, everyone. Hope everyone's keeping warm. Got your cold gear on.
Yeah, it's too cold for me. It's too cold. This is the time of the year everyone should take pity on my husband because at least 3 times a day I say, we should move to Florida. We should move to Florida. It's too cold. We should move to Florida. And whenever something needs to be repaired in our house, like we have to fix, like there's like a little hole in the ceiling we got to fix. And I said, oh, or we could just move. It's easy enough. Uh, so yes, the Addicts Crew is back, although maybe a little slightly cold, a little freezing. The Addicts Crew is back once again to bring you Simpsons news and Saturday Smiles. And as always, before we get into this week's show, it is time for your regular reminder to subscribe to our YouTube channel. So hit that red button so you don't miss any of the addicts. And as always, for those not watching this directly on YouTube, I will put a link to the subscribe button in the show notes below us here. So let's get on with the show. Saf, how the heck are you?
I'm doing good. Enjoying 2022 so far. Trying to stay safe and avoid all the pandemonium of the pandemic that's going around. Unfortunately, the pandemic did change my holiday plans or vacation plans. I was going to go on vacation in a couple of weeks for 3 weeks, and that is now out the window. So my trip has been canceled. How about
Well,
you?
postponed, right? It hasn't really been canceled, or has it just been postponed?
They canceled it, and I am, but still planning to do the trip again, but next year now.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah,
So it really has been canceled. Okay.
yeah.
I thought initially just was.
Refund. I got a full refund, and yeah, I will be trying to rebook for January of 2023 now again. Yeah,
Good golly. Did you have a good New Year's? Did you?
I did. I did. It was nice. Sister, brother-in-law, nephew, niece, and nephew came by. We had a nice little long weekend get together, played a lot of games, sequence, and Ticket to Ride, and a lot of fun board games. So yeah, it was a fun weekend. How about you?
I will fully endorse those games. Those are both very fun games. Yeah, I will be the first to admit a house with a 6-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a almost 2-month-old now, but who was 6 weeks old at the time of New Year's. I fell asleep before midnight. Not gonna lie, I did wake up about 10 minutes after. My husband said he tried to wake me up at midnight, but yeah, I just waking up multiple times throughout the night to feed a baby. I was out before midnight, but that's what happens when you're old. So yeah, but we had a good New Year's. So interesting story for those who saw the podcast or listened to the podcast a couple weeks ago, after Christmas or after Thanksgiving rather, our first episode back, I said that I had contracted COVID. And it was interesting because I'm fully vaccinated, so it was interesting to have COVID. And at that point, I lost taste and smell. It has come back, all that fun stuff. I originally thought, because it was such a mild case, that I had the new variant, the Omicron variant. So needless to say, Christmas morning, it's spreading around like wildfire where I live in New Jersey. It's nuts. COVID is crazy. Everywhere you go, I feel like you can't even walk outside without just being hit with something with COVID. So Christmas morning, we wake up and we use those wonderful home tests. I tested my daughter, who's 6, because we were going to see my grandfather, who is going to be 96. Actually, today when this airs, he'll be 96. And happy birthday, Grandpa!
Happy birthday!
Not that he's watching this because he has no idea what a podcast is, but hey. But yeah, so we tested my daughter, and sure enough, positive. She did have a little bit of sniffles, a little bit of a cold, a little bit of a runny nose, but nothing like super crazy. It's winter. This is what happens to these kids. So I didn't test myself. I didn't test my son, who's 3, but we did test my husband. We did not test the baby at that point. My husband tested negative. So I was like, you know what? Let me test the baby just to be safe. So like about an hour later, we tested the baby. He was negative. So we had a COVID positive. So we were like, all right, well, Christmas will be spent at home. Santa brought us COVID. So it was actually nice. We had a nice Christmas, just the five of us. It was really nice. But then of course we were in quarantine hell once again. But then we started having every day afterwards, we had this rolling thing of positive COVID cases. So on the 26th, the day after Christmas, the 6-week-old, the baby Teddy tested positive. He had a fever. I was like, well, he's got a little bit of a fever. He's sneezing a little bit. Granted, he's been sneezing since he was born. So I was like, you know what? I have the test. I gave him a quick test. Positive as can be, despite being negative the day before. I was like, okay, here we go. He's fine now, by the way. The fever was gone within a day and everything was fine. Was a little scary because he is little, but it wasn't too bad. Then not the next day, but the day after that, Sam tests positive again. Now, Sam, my 3-year-old, had COVID when I had COVID. Right. So I was like, what the hell? I tested him purely for scientific reasons. I was like, just for pure science curiosity. Because he had the same sneezing, coughing, mild coughing, but nothing crazy. And the sniffles, he actually had a worse cough than Riley did. Because at night, because he had like a croup cough. I was like, uh-oh, I hope he doesn't have croup. And sure enough, he tests positive. I said, what the hell is going on? So, and then the next,
from this.
And then the next day, my husband tests positive, which we knew would be inevitable at that point.
Right.
And then the next day, I tested positive. So I was like, what the hell is going on? We all were clear. My son and I were clear. His PCR was still positive after Thanksgiving, but his rapid antigen was negative. So his viral load got so high, again, from having Omicron now, that he tested positive on the rapid antigen. I tested negative on everything, PCR, rapid, everything. And then I got another positive test. So needless to say, my son and I had COVID twice in a 4-week period.
Wow.
But you didn't think that was possible.
Wow.
So I will tell you that Omicron was basically a cold for us, for all of us. My husband and I both are vaccinated. My husband is boosted. He got his booster 2 weeks before he actually got COVID. So it kind of feels like it's pointless in prevention or doing much for you at that point. But the kids are not vaccinated. I will say that they're a little too young for it. So, but everyone was fine. Everyone had a cold. Everyone was over it. It wasn't too big of a deal. We just were in quarantine hell. Thank God it was Christmas. So the kids had lots of new toys to play with. Thankfully, Santa was very generous in our house. So the kids had lots to do and they weren't too crazy. But then when Riley was cleared to go back to school, it turns out that 2/3 of her school all had COVID. So they ended up doing a week of virtual. So not only did we have her 10 days of quarantine, we had an extra 5 days for because her school was virtual for the week. So it was, it was interesting. I've got a few more gray hairs now. Yeah. And we did talk to the doctor. I talked to the doctor about it. I said, is this even possible? And he said, yeah. He said, it is possible to get different variants, depending on what variant you had previously. And it does seem like we had Delta originally because we lost taste and smell, where with Omicron, you don't lose taste and smell, which is actually a little scary because that's the only reason I tested, because I lost taste and smell originally. If I had the symptoms I had with Omicron, which was literally just like a sniffle, I didn't even have a runny nose. I wasn't congested. I literally was just sniffling. And I tested myself just for pure science reasons. I was like, I'm just curious. I never would have tested under normal circumstances because it's a cold. 2 years ago, that's a cold. You go to work, you live your life. That's a cold. So it was definitely interesting. So yeah, our New Year's was part of our quarantine. So we didn't do anything. We didn't have anyone over. We really couldn't do too much. What we did do, though, we instituted a new tradition, and that we had a fancy steak dinner on New Year's Eve, which the kids absolutely loved. Riley thought it was the best thing ever. Sam's a little too young to say that's the best thing ever, but They had a lot of fun. So that was kind of our New Year's and Christmas in quarantine hell. We still made the best
That's a
of it
cool
and we had
tradition,
fun.
though. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was a nice thing to do. So, they didn't make it to midnight. They were in bed by 9 o'clock. I didn't make it to midnight. So, but it wasn't a bad way to end 2021 and start 2022. At least we know now we all have immunity to Omicron. Hopefully you can't get that again. So we hopefully are good to go at least for the next 3 months. Fingers crossed. If I get it a third time, we've got issues. So, but yeah. So did you get anything memorable for Christmas? Anything you stand out to you?
Yeah. So probably one of the most memorable gifts comes from our resident head addict, from you. I got
I didn't do that to pat myself on the back. I promise.
well, no, yeah, it was actually probably the best gift I got, the unofficial Simpsons cookbook. That was really, really cool. So it's full of all sorts of recipes
I
from
happen
the
to have
show.
one here too, so I'll show this to the camera.
Ooh, nice. Yes, that's the one. I love it. From Krusty Burgers to Marge's Pretzels, it has recipes for everything. It's a really cool book. So no, I was really excited to get that, and it's something I'm looking forward to trying out.
I like this. I just happened to open it, and because I saw this this was the Addicts gift this year. For those who have been with us for a while, you know that every Christmas we do an Addicts gift, and in the past we've done things like these little figurines here. A whole series of them. Unfortunately, they discontinued these, and you can't find them anywhere anymore. So I had to think of something slightly different. So I saw this, and I couldn't get it as the Addict's gift and not get myself one. So, but I just opened this one up here, and it's the recipe I found here is dry crackers. So. But yeah, you gonna do anything fun with that cookbook, Saf?
No, I'm definitely planning on doing some of those recipes, trying them out, and yeah, try to share the outcomes of those recipes with the readers and with our addicts. And no, really appreciated the gift. It's really nice and fun, and it was definitely a memorable gift. Definitely a favorite of the year.
As I'm throwing things around my desk here, don't mind me. Yeah, no, it's a neat book. It was a fun thing. I was glad I found something like that to do as the gift. Did you get anything else that maybe I didn't buy for you that you?
I had a lot of nice little small things, but it was more so just the best parts were definitely just hanging out, spending time with family, playing games, and whatnot. We would play like Sequence or Ticket to Ride till like 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning. So yeah,
That's
it
the
was
best.
it was a lot of fun.
That's what the holidays are about: spending time with those that you love, and doing things you might not do on a normal day.
Right.
So that's
We
good.
got our new TV, so that was fun too. So that was nice.
Yeah,
So
for those who haven't been following along, the Safi's been in a moving saga for almost a year now. So he moved the end of, I think, February of last year, like the end of January.
The end of January last year, yeah.
And then his house wasn't ready because of all the supply chain issues, COVID, everything. So they just kept taking forever and ever and ever to do it. So he finally is moved in. I think they're still doing work in the house though, right?
They are. There's still work that is pending. There's still stuff on back order, but yeah, it's a little bit steady. At least we could live in there. We got a roof and four walls, so yeah, we can move in.
And a new TV, so that's good.
And then the new TV, yes, yeah, exactly.
Awesome. So let's talk about a little bit of Simpsons, I guess, right? This is a podcast about the Simpsons.
Sure.
It wouldn't be we were giving everybody Saturday smiles, but there's no Simpsons news before that. So let's talk a little Holiday Whodunnit. Let's kind of wrap it up, put a pretty little bow on it. Although we did talk a lot about it in our year in review, which I'll put a link to in whichever corner I appear in. look for the eye in one of these corners. So Holiday Whodunnit officially ended this past week on Wednesday. Overall, I think it turned out to be a pretty good event. Saf, what were your thoughts on it overall now that it's finished?
No, definitely. Overall, it was a solid event. The trivia was like a really, really nice little spin back or to Stonecutters, which in the opinion of many was the best event to date. So that was nice to bring that back. The price track had the usual like go up and then come down. The fourth act was definitely the weakest, but still it was a pretty good event in terms of prizes. The trivia definitely was the best part of it, though, for me. It was really, really memorable. The gift cards, they were nice that you can get all sorts of old Christmas items. Um, I know, like, I have all the items already. There are only two items that I got, like, way, way back in the beginning in Act 1, but the rest, too, I didn't trade in for donuts. I was like, I have so many donuts, I don't need more donuts. But so it was nice to get extras of a lot of Christmas items by the gift cards. I did, in a hurry, try to like scroll up on one of the questions, the very last question, and got that one wrong. So I missed out on a gift card. But yeah,
You accidentally touched one.
yeah. So, but other than that, I got every question right, which was nice. And so a lot of extra items there. Some of the prize track, especially like I believe it was Act 1, where you got like 10 prizes instead of 5, like with the 3
Yeah.
billboards and like the extra animated task and everything. I thought it was just a solid start to the event. Again, Act 4 was kind of a little downward trend from the previous 3 act prizes, but still overall a solid event. How about you? What'd you think of Holiday Whodunnit?
So my line for 2021 was, at least it wasn't a hot dog cooker bot. Is my line for 2022 going to be, at least it's not a warehouse building? Uh, no, I still think the hot dog cooker bot was worse. And I think we'll probably get some worse Act 4 prizes as we go into the year. Um, but yeah, I agree as far as Act 4 is concerned. I think Act 4 was pretty weak. We probably could have done without Act 4. Rich Texan Sleigh was probably the best prize on that Act 4 prize track by far. And I think, like I said, we ultimately probably could have done away with Act 4, with the exception of the dialogue. Go ahead.
With the exception of the dialogue, as well as the exception of the fifth prize task
Oh,
where you had the sleigh race.
make everybody fly. Yeah.
That make everyone fly. That was awesome.
Yeah. But they could have found a way to do that, like at the end. So instead of, how sometimes they do the epilogue
Right.
dialogue, they could have had a task at the end of that to kind of wrap it all up instead of
Yeah.
making it part of the but yeah, so we probably could have done away without Act 4, which they've done in the past on Christmas holidays. They've cut it. They haven't had it as long as some of the other events. They didn't this year, so it was the true 5 weeks. But overall, I think this probably was the event of the year. It was probably the best event of 2021. Trivia was phenomenal. More of that, please, EA.
Yes.
That was awesome. And it was nice, like Act 1 had a ton of gift cards you could earn. Act 2 had a bunch of gift cards. And then once you earned the You Forgot Me Nots or You Forget Me Not or whatever building that generated the gift cards, that kind of slowed down. You had just, 5, maybe 6 gift cards per track. But it was really nice. It was a lot of fun. It was a nice way to end the year. And we're heading into 10 years of TSTO, which will do something. We'll talk more about that as we get to that actual anniversary date. But it was a nice way to wrap up the 10th Christmas event in TSTO. I really enjoyed it. And like I said, I think my favorite prizes on that, out of all of that, were all the different sleighs. It's nice that they all have animated tasks with them, so you can make everybody fly, and it really makes the sea captain sleigh look like, pretty weak in comparison. I remember when we got that, we were like, oh, this is cool, but there's no task for it. So they really should have had the sea captain have a task for it. But otherwise, really great event, really, really fun tasks, really good prizes. And like I said, probably the best event of the year. I really have very, very few low spots for this event. I think Act 4 itself probably is the low spot, but dialogue phenomenal, bonus prizes awesome. Trivia was, like I said, and you've said, the best thing. And EA, please, 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 we beg you, more of that. Don't make it like Stonecutters, where we've been begging you for 7 years to bring back that type of thing, and just never do it again. I'm sure it's a lot of work for them. It's probably a lot of research and stuff, but I mean, it really made the game fun and brought a little bit of challenge back to it in a way that can still be achievable. I know some people had issues when the game was challenging, like with the wheel or the Easter boxes, when it was challenging and there was a potential you wouldn't get everything. I feel like the trivia is challenging, but like in a way that you can still get the right answer and move on.
Right.
So yeah, I really enjoyed it. I can't speak better about it. It was a good event, really good event, solid. Probably
finished the year on a really, really high. I mean, Halloween with the Tappables, Northward Bound, just with the Donut Mine and like all the new land that's opened up. It's just been a phenomenal fourth quarter of 2021. So hopefully it continues. Bringing back trivia, sure. Bring back Tappables, yeah. Like giving us all sorts of new fun stuff to do. Hopefully it continues. It was just a solid year.
Now we could be like the Doomers and say, "Oh, this was so good." That means the game's ending. We're not Doomers though. If I think I've said this a bunch of times. If I had a nickel for every time I've heard that the game was ending, I'd be a very, very, very rich lady for sure. But yeah, it was a great event. And I think, just kind of looking back, thinking about the previous Christmas events, I think this is probably one of the better Christmas events we've had. It's not the best we've ever had,
right.
But some people argue it's definitely better than 2013 with the wheel. But it definitely is probably one of the best Christmas events we've had in the last 3-4 years. This was a good one. I really enjoyed this one. Looking ahead, so this event has ended on January 12th. We're now January 15th. And we will be, let's see, by like next Wednesday, give or take. Generally, that's when we'll see a mini event. Thoughts on what you think the mini event might be?
Yeah, every time you ask me what's going to be the next event, I always said, "Oh, I hope it's something that opens up more land in Springfield Heights." Well, thank you, EA. They took away my answer. We got all that land already. Let's see, what could be coming up next? Well, the Winter Olympics are starting on February 3rd, so it could be another sporting or Olympic type mini event. We've had a couple of those in the past.
But we did just have one.
Yeah.
Oh no, we didn't. They didn't do it this year.
No, it wasn't. No, it was the year before last. It was when when the Olympics were supposed to take place. So yeah, it was. It's been a little bit for that. So I could see it being potentially an Olympic one. Otherwise, it could just be kind of like what they've been doing recently, and just kind of taking a little bit from a couple different episodes where they have an item here and there. Like taking the toilet, the giant toilet, and taking a couple different prizes from different things, and just showing their creativity by intertwining several episodes together. So yeah, I'm gonna go. If I have to pick one item, I'm gonna go with the Olympics. Just taking into account current events. Otherwise, I'm gonna go with what their recent trend of mixing different things together into one.
Yeah, I mean, the Olympics is an interesting way to go. This event, let's see. So this event would start on the 19th, and if it's 2 weeks, it'll end on February 2nd. So I think that's a little too early to be an Olympic event. Sure. Just as a
third
pure calendar, yeah.
Yeah.
The last couple of years we've gotten like New Year, New You and Holidays of Futures Past. And so we may get like a continuation of something like that, or something to kind of like focus on New Year. But I'm always at a loss this time of the year with EA, because they can go in so many different directions, and they generally do. So it's really hard to say. One thing's for sure, we will see another update at some point. Uh, but yeah, so I could see us doing kind of like another like a fitness type of event, or even like another like kind of a mini holiday type thing. And I can almost see the Olympic event, if they do something, really being a bigger event that ties for all of February, because we'll probably see the next let's see, if we see the mini event end February 2nd, we likely would see the next event on February 9th, which would run, let's see, the 9th, the 16th. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So it would end till about the 16th of March. So
Right.
that almost could be like a full Olympic type of event. And in true EA fashion, end 2 weeks after the Olympics ends. So, so I can almost see that happening. That might be a little bit of a better tie-in, but well, you never know what to expect. That's the beauty of the game. Maybe they'll do something to celebrate 10 years of TSTO. Who knows?
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of potential still left. I mean, it was the bracket battle from 2 years or 3 years ago with all the episode content. There's still so much content, and then they're still bringing on stuff that we love. I mean, just looking back at 2021, I mean, the posse bots, and all the
No
slaves.
one saw those robots coming.
All the geriatric park stuff. I mean, there was just a lot of good content that they brought in 10 years into the game. And they've been drawing from recent episodes too. I mean, we've seen a lot of stuff from season 30, 31, 32 come make its way into the game this past year. And it's stuff that's really cool, really fun. I mean, we still have a few items left on the season 33 prize track. Granted, Simpsons is off until after the Olympics.
It's a very long hiatus.
Yeah, yeah. So it's quite possible we may not get another season 33 prize track yet, but item yet. But there's still those items left as well. So yeah, there's a lot of potential still left in the game.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I totally could see them doing something where they have like Homer come out and just say, "Okay, this game's 10 years old. Time to blow it all up," and everybody's town gets blown up again. And you've got to like piece it all back together. I could see something like that happening. Of course, there'll be probably a lot of players that are so frustrated and aggravated that they quit the game over that.
Yes,
But
I feel like that's a risk.
yeah, I could see something like that happening. But one thing's for sure, I will say EA, because I know you're starting to do some of your planning for the year of events. Please, please, please make sure Halloween this year in 2022 you at least have a pumpkin in the store for people to buy, because I can't take another year of people complaining that there's no Halloween decorations or things in the store for them to purchase during the Halloween
There's
event.
no
So
Halloween in THOH. Trios of Horror.
there's no horror. Or horror. Horror. You gotta be careful how you say that word. So
We'll
yeah.
see.
Yeah. So otherwise, I think that'll probably do it from us. This was just a quick little kind of just a fun little, let's jump on here, kind of recap what's going on, where we're heading, what's going forward in 2022. Addicts Live. I know in 2021, Safi and I were so good about doing this every week. In 2022, I don't think every week is possible. Maybe as we get further into the year, it might be. But listen, guys, 3 kids is a lot. It's a lot. Even though I'm home right now, it is still a lot. So we'll see. We'll see how it pans out. But at the very least, we will try to come to you every other week with a show and give you those Simpsons news and Saturday smiles that a lot of you look forward to. So yeah, anything else you'd like to add, Saf?
No, just hope everyone enjoys 2022. Hope EA brings us a lot more fun and exciting stuff and continues the great trend it did with the Tappables and Halloween, all the new land Northward Bound, the donut mines, and the trivia from Christmas. I mean, hopefully that all these pleasant surprises continue.
Yeah, and I will say too, we will try now that the show is on a little bit of a hiatus. We will try to the Simpsons, not this show. We'll try to do an episode where we maybe recap like the first half of the new season, like we did last year, where we had a bunch of episodes we talked about, because that's a lot of fun to do and it's something different. And I think a lot of
it's your episodes this season.
Yeah, I have to watch most of them. I have not caught up on in true confession style here.
In Canada, a lot of the episodes are already on Disney Plus.
Oh wow, really? My DVRs, I have them all on DVRs, just I have not had a chance to sit down and watch them. So I've got to do that.
We'll definitely have to have a live about the Sirius Flanders, the 2-part episode. That was really good too.
Yeah, I'll have to watch them. That'll be my task, and then we'll probably come to you guys with a special episode about the new season, at least the first half. So other than that, that's going to do it from us. Thank you for watching. Thanks for listening. And we will see you guys on the next show. Have a good weekend.